The two most authentic seaside village resorts in the Algarve are right on our path as we traverse the 170 kilometers from the Spanish border all the way down to Sagres and Cape St. Vincent on foot. But we'll tell you about those two villages later, okay? First, I want to introduce you to somebody who might be a little bit more familiar. This is her third video with me. Good morning and welcome to day 7 of the Algarve Crosswalk. And I've got Kat back again for the third time.
Yeah, welcome back.
You're a sucker for punishment. So we're going to head west and see how we're going to go. But if you haven't checked out Kat online, that's catcutfit.com. She's Coach Kat and she does all the mobility stuff, right?
Exactly. So
How's it
today
going?
we are just only walking.
Yeah?
Well, it's going pretty well. I cannot complain.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So today we're only walking. Yeah, we're not doing any. Well, we can do an exercise.
Yeah,
or
we
two.
can do some mobility.
Yeah,
Why
good
not?
idea. Okay.
You can always do mobility.
As you can see, we're kicking off this hike at Pontevedra, which is the situation where we reached last time at the end of our trip. And we're starting off in exactly the same place like about a week later. And as you can see as well, it is a gorgeous morning. You can't get much better than this. Additionally, a couple of Americans are joining us today who have transformed their lives completely by retiring in the sun, and they couldn't be happier. It's a far cry from Massachusetts, rainy, worky, hardcore, just sitting behind a desk, to an idyllic and super small fishing village in the Algarve. Can it be done? Of course it can be done, but not without our help, of course. Algarve Addicts assisted Carl and Rubina the whole way, from initial video calls to tours to finding them a rental, and then subsequently a house to buy, which they have now done. So here's Carl and Rubina. Thanks so much for coming with us. It's really lovely to see you guys again. We've been seeing quite a lot of you lately, hey? Because you're now living just down the road.
We are. We settled down in Salema, just a little further west from here. So that's exciting.
And how long has it been? It's been, because I remember speaking to you before you came, right, on our video call. And now you're here. So how long ago did you actually physically move?
We moved here officially last September, but this has been in the planning. This has been in the works for some years because we first made contact with you, over 2 years ago now, I think, right? We came out 2 Januaries ago to do a scouting trip with you, and that was the beginning of our adventure. So, yeah. And that cinched it for us. We knew after that we needed to be here permanently. So
wonderful to see you here in your new setting with this gorgeous view behind you.
Beautiful. Who wouldn't want this, right?
Carl, do you like it?
It's beautiful here. The countryside is beautiful. The weather is fabulous. And the people are nice. The food is good. I'm able to get by without speaking Portuguese.
He's learning though. We're practicing.
It's very hard.
Because you're originally from Madeira, right?
Yes. Yes. So I do speak Portuguese. Well, technically I speak it fluently, but evidently I have a very strong Madeiran accent as well as an American accent to boot. So I need to practice as well.
I know what that Madeiran accent's like because I just come back from Madeira.
Oh.
We're making a few videos in Madeira. But yeah, it's going to be fun. So thanks so much for coming with us, and we'll chat a little bit later on the walk.
Awesome.
Be here.
It's really pretty. So you should know the deal by now. The idea is to walk the entire day and show you exactly what villages and towns we pass through, along with some amazing scenery. So you have an info-packed video encyclopedia of the Algarve coastline. We trekked west from Lagos' Pontevedra towards Porto de Mons beach. My drone took this super cool shortcut while we wound through wonderful residential areas, Cascade Wellness Resort, and this wonderful boutique hotel called Vivenda Miranda. Yeah, rock on. This fascinating black rock is actually a volcanic chimney that was formed 75 million years ago when the Iberian Peninsula smashed into Africa due to the movement of the tectonic plates. Almost losing my crew. But we're just at the top of Praia de Luz now, so heading down there for a coffee. It's 10:56, so we're going slow and enjoying it. It's wonderful. So we just arrived in the endless summer middle bar cafe here in Luz, and it's a gorgeous day. It's beautiful. It's spring, so there's not too many people here, but it can get really, really busy in summer. What do you guys think of Luz?
It's a quaint little town, but it's a little bit big. It's condensed. A lot of things in Portugal are very condensed, and I prefer to be away from the crowds. My wife prefers to be near the water.
Is that true?
That is true. That is true. Well, I mean, I like, especially as we're aging, I have to think about accessibility to things. So if we were 10, 20 years younger, then living out in the countryside might be, reasonable, but not something you need to have community. And so that's one of the things I really liked a lot about Luz, is because it still felt small compared to like a larger city like Lagos or Faro, Albufeira, certainly. But it still has all of the conveniences that you would get from a larger city. I mean, there's shopping, there's access to the beach, there's just a lot here. So great.
Perfect.
What do I think about Luz?
What do you think about Luz? I mean, look behind you. It's gorgeous.
Well, anywhere in Portugal is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, so far so good. I've never been here, so... What do you think?
I'd say 12, maybe 13.
13 it is.
Yes, Burgau, behind the cliff.
So be safe, because this is not very stable, but from like maybe 2 meters distance will be fine.
2 meters. Yeah, watch it, guys. Every year people fall off, whether it's drunken fishermen or tourists. Just be careful. I think I'm going to whip out the drone and show you Burgau quickly. Burgau is situated closer to Lagos than it is to Sagres, so it's being 25 minutes drive from Sagres and 20 minutes drive west of Lagos, about 12 kilometers. And this is one of the 2 most authentic Algarve villages on the coast, as I mentioned before in this video. Not much has changed here, apart from the fact that the population is now one of the highest ratios of foreigners to Portuguese in the whole country. How crazy is that? It's almost like 46% foreigners to locals. It makes sense because there's not much business going on, all the Portuguese move away, but the most authentic part of the Algarve is the most foreigners. That's crazy. Bear with us as we zoom in for lunch to this most gorgeous little spot called Love Burgau, right next to a South African restaurant called Ayers, which I've been to a couple of times, and you might have seen that in previous videos. We're just doing lunch deliberations. They're going to take us wherever they want. See the little secret alleyway.
And we are hungry.
Hungary, got to get there fast. We're going to go to Love Burgau, which is a beautiful restaurant that I've been to before.
My wife cuffed the side of my head.
In good Madeiran fashion.
Practically knocked me out.
So what we got there, man?
Hummus.
Hamas.
Delicious. Hummus.
I mean,
so shocked.
look at this thing. It's gargantuan. How can I possibly? Like, no.
This looks really good.
Yes, it does. I should have gotten that.
How's it, Stina? Hey! And there's colourful stuff.
That already have this
You can't stop it.
As we head out of Burgau, let's take a moment to have a look at what's going on here, because the nearest hospital is actually in Lagos. The nearest Continent grocery store is in Lagos, although there are some mini markets in Burgau like Mais Perto, which is attached to the Café de Burgau on the upper street, or the Rua Principal. There's actually an amazing amount of restaurants in Burgau. I mean, I was just looking at the stuff online and it's making my mouth water. We went to Love Burgau. Just next door is Ayers, which is this restaurant run by a really fun South African couple. And then further down the road, there's Mayam Burgau. There's lots of stuff going on. Up on the main street, there's on the Rua Principal, there's an Indian restaurant. And then off to the western side as we walk out is the Nova Beach Club, which is sort of right cool. It's got a pool up there and everything. There are 2 hotels on the eastern side of Burgau as well. And obviously more restaurants all around. So maybe I should come back and spend the entire day here, or maybe more, and make another intensive video all about Burgau. So much to discover. Anyway, we are heading off to Salema. Does it make you want to jump?
Well, not really.
No, me neither, but it does look very nice down there on the beach. Just relaxing, swimming. Oh, why are we doing this? We should be on the beach.
Is that what you think?
There's our navigator.
We have to walk around that house regardless.
Yeah. This fort, called Fort Almadne, was constructed in 1632. It's strange enough, it's very close to the time Cape Town in South Africa was being populated by the Dutch explorers. But anyway, back to Portugal. This was built as a protection against pirates who were threatening the tuna industry in the western Algarve. The pirates were acting outside the law, attacking even the ships of their own country, whereas the privateers, who were granted the right by the state of seizing ships and looting villages from enemy states, both reached their peak in the 16th and 17th centuries. And the fort of Almadne resisted the earthquake of 1755, miraculously enough, but it was abandoned when the coast was no longer under threat. And the last known uses of the fort took place in the Civil War, 1832 to 1834, and in the 19th century for contraband surveillance on the coast. So we've got to try and get across this river. Everyone else is going on the stepping stones. So this is Praia de Boca do Rio, and there's an unsightly sort of ruin here in the middle of the thing, all covered in graffiti, which is not that cool. But to the western side of the beach, there's some Roman ruins, which aren't that miraculous. There's just a couple of rocks, really, but obviously you can imagine what it was like. Now here's an interesting fun fact. Less than 2 kilometers from Boca do Rio, at the bottom of the sea, are the remains of l'Océan, a 60-meter-long ship that carried 80 cannons and 800 crew members. It was the admiral's ship of a French fleet of 14 ships. And during the 7 Years' War, it was sunk by the mighty British Navy in the Battle of Lagos in August 1759. And some say that the 7 Years' War was the first true world war. So, if you know anything about history, look up the 7 Years' War. Almost like, what do you call it? This is Boia. Santinha.
Except everything reserved. I wonder if we can get the table for a few minutes. Just for coffee?
Top of the hill.
What I found is over here is that it's
And
warmer in the summer.
there's no view from our house, but
And your house is like, well,
No, I'm not hydrated enough because I'm dry. I've never been to Holland, but I hear it's very beautiful.
it's nice. It's not as nice as here, but
Like Burgau, Salema is a stunning little spot. In the title, it's right there in the title. These are the two most authentic villages in the whole of the Algarve. And the reason being, Salema is an historical fishing village. It's got a long history as a fishing village, although it now thrives in tourism mainly. But it has retained its traditional character, and it's managed to avoid excessive development seen in other coastal villages in the region. Now, the stunning thing is that in 2011, when the last census happened, there were recorded something like 260 people living in Salema. But there's been quite a lot of expansion up to the northwest and a little plateau. And that is where Rubina and Carl are hanging out. And it's just unspoiled beauty. I mean, you can see the beaches around here is absolutely stunning. I think, what is his name? Rick Steves, who many Americans know as the ultimate travel writer, he described Salema's beach as maybe the most purely enjoyable beach in all of Europe, and it's been recognized by The Guardian and Travel and Leisure as one of the best beaches in the world. And there's lots of activities to do here. Well, Sagres is known for its surfing. Salema offers activities like windsurfing, kayaking, stand-up paddleboarding, or you can just chill on the beach, or you can rent equipment right behind the beach. And additionally, divers can explore the shipwreck of the French vessel L'Océan, which I mentioned earlier, and that sank near Salema in 1759. And that is actually a thrilling account to read on Wikipedia. But I am going to come back to this place and make a much more comprehensive video of Salema and of Burgau. So I bid you all farewell until next week, and thank you so much for joining us. It's been a fantastic trip so far. One more session to go. Salema to Sagres or Cape St. Vincent. We'll see how far we go. All right, stay well. Algarve Addicts.com